What's up, kid family? Welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing? On today's video, we are going to be taking the front suspension off my 2007 Honda Civic LX. We upgraded the suspension about 30 to 40,000 miles ago, and we put on used Civic Si suspension, so that's a little bit beefier dampening, a little harder spring rates. But over the last couple of months, I've noticed we've been having a little banging, clicking noise every time I'm turning the steering wheel during slow speeds. So what we're going to do in this video is take apart the whole front suspension, take out the shock, take out the spring, break everything apart, re-grease all the components that need to be re-greased, and just look at everything, make sure everything's doing good. Spoiler alert, I already did that on the driver's side and it fixed the problem, so I'm just going to do it on the passenger side. So they're both nicely cleaned up, both of them are even. I'll bring you guys along so you can do this to your vehicle too, and maybe it can fix the problems you're having with your suspension noise. So let's get it. And I know a lot of you guys still don't know how to work on cars, so I'm gonna go through the basics here. The most important thing is you want to jack up your car in proper jacking points underneath the vehicle, otherwise catastrophe can happen, such as it did to my brother on his Lexus GSF. And I'll play you guys that clip that made it on Reddit and Lithuanian news channel, so check that out right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so if you don't want that to happen to you guys, make sure you guys properly jack the vehicle. And as you guys can see over here, this is a jacking point on the pinch weld. It's specifically designed and very easy to access, so make sure your jack properly positioned underneath. By the way guys, I am using a Harbor Freight's lift, and it's been doing great for us for the last 2 years or more. I haven't even had to bleed the system on the jack, so everything works good. Before you jack up the car all the way, make sure you loosen the lug nuts, and then we'll get started. Alright guys, once you have the vehicle lifted, the wheel off, it's time to support the vehicle using the jack stand. And the jack stand, where I like to put it, is as close to the jack as possible, right there on the pinch weld. So let's jack it up one more time. Perfect. And we're just gonna lower the jack just a little bit so it stays on the jack and not on the lift. Alright guys, and this is the shock. This is the SI shock like I mentioned before, and as you can see, it's seen better days. The boot is breaking apart, but other than that, there are no oil leaks around the shock base, which indicates that the shock is good. It's still not broken and leaking. So we're gonna have to take this off. By taking this off, we're gonna have to undo these two bolts right here, this brake line and this little brake ABS clip, and going on top, we're gonna remove that rubber hose. We're gonna remove this clip here, and there's gonna be 3 bolts, 14 millimeters, that are on top, which we will have to remove. Once all those bolts are removed, we're gonna drop the suspension part out and we'll talk about it. Alright guys, removing old rusty screws is always a challenge. The top nut came out pretty good. We didn't strip it whatsoever, but the bottom nut was so over torqued it started stripping. Luckily I gave it enough tension on this side to break the bolt loose, and we were able to take it off. But this bolt definitely needs to be replaced, and I just got the perfect idea what to do. We're gonna install camber arms in the front, so stay tuned for the next video where we do that. But right now, let's continue undoing this whole shock. Alright guys, now we took off all the 3 nuts. We have them right here. So almost done with this. It's just time to take off the knuckle arm assembly here from the shock, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna place you guys somewhere here. Alright guys, and here is the shock. Approximately took us about 15 minutes to 20 minutes to take this off. The main thing was one of those shock bolts on the bottom was warped, so that gave us a ton of issues. But this is what we're looking at. This is pretty heavy, I might say, at least 30 to 40 pounds. Alright guys, and the next step is to take off this little plastic cover here, and we're gonna have to remove this nut right over here. This is gonna break apart the top hat from the shock, and we'll be able to take everything apart. Now what's interesting is a lot of people are gonna use spring compressors to compress the spring to take the top hat off so there's no load. I'm just gonna take the top hat off with a wrench, holding my foot on the spring. I've done it a few times. A lot of people are scared, saying that the spring's gonna shoot out and kill somebody, but not in this scenario. Maybe if you have some crazy high spring rates, but for this, I've done it a few times, no issues, so just watch me do it. There it goes. Now we can wiggle this whole assembly out. Just like that. It looks like that bump stop completely ripped apart. The shock looks good though, no scarring on the shaft right here. And like I mentioned before, there's no leaks on the shock. Now we're slowly gonna take the spring off the assembly right here. Make sure you guys remember which one's the top and which one's the bottom. I'm gonna take the dust boot off right here. Okay, we're gonna leave that there. Wow, there's actually two bump stops. Look at that. One must have been from my other suspension that I was running. I was running I-back at one point and then H&R lowering springs as well. Let's take the bump stop off here. Looks good. And guys, there's some bearings in here, and this is the main thing we're gonna be looking at. That's our main concern. And we're gonna re-grease those bearings. So I'm just gonna slowly take a screwdriver, break this apart. Okay, very good. Came out nice and clean. And as you guys can see right over here, we have all the bearings. And every time you turn your steering wheel, this whole assembly turns. So if there's not enough grease, or if they're dirty over here, or if it's torqued too much, if the top hat is torqued too much, these bearings don't have enough room to swivel properly, and then you're gonna have maybe bearing noise potentially, or other issues. So I'm gonna clean this up right now, re-grease it with some synthetic grease, and then reinstall it a little bit later on. This is a good time to check if any of these components have play. These right now, everything looks good. And also guys, be cautious, there's a little arrow right over here, and this says that when I reinstall it, this has to be pointing to the front of the vehicle. So make sure you guys get the orientation right. Even though this points to the front, I don't think there's another way you can put it on, because it just won't fit from my experience. So I'm doing it real thick, guys. I don't really care. The more grease, honestly, the better. I don't plan to take this suspension apart at all anymore, so you guys can see how this spins. You want to make sure it's nice and smooth. The most important thing is make sure make sure all these bearings are properly seated in all their holes. Otherwise, there's going to be issues. I'm also going to grease this bump stop right over here, as I think this was squeaking a little bit. I could be wrong, but I feel like this was squeaking a little bit during turns in this housing. So that's going to get greased up. I did it on the other side. I'm going to do it on this side. reinstall everything back. Everything snaps back into place. And again, we're gonna give it a nice turn, make sure everything's nice and smooth. And everything looks great. So there you guys go. The top head is completely re-greased, cleaned up. Granted, I could clean it up a little bit better, but there's no reason to. It is my daily driver. The car isn't a garage queen. It's never ever gonna be perfect. I'm gonna clean the top of the spring. We're gonna grease this side up as well when it goes into the dust boot. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the bottom of the spring. There's a lot of dirt and grime here, so let's clean this up. Looks good. Let's take the boot, put a little bit on here. This is where the spring is gonna sit. And a lot of you guys might be saying, hey, you should be using silicone grease. Yeah, if you have silicone grease, go ahead, use that. I'm using what I got. I know some people might say that this kind of grease might eat up some of the rubber seals or something, but you know what? At this point with this car and its mileage, it's not gonna hurt. Lube everything up. So at this point, guys, we have the top head nicely cleaned up and lubricated. We have the spring lubricated from the top and the bottom, and the dust boot lubricated. The next thing is to just reinstall everything back to how it was and tighten the top nut and go from there. And an interesting way to test your shocks if they're still good, you're gonna depress the shock right over here, and you're just gonna watch it rise. If it is gonna be rising, yeah, this one is going fairly slow. It's got some age to it. But if it just stays down and doesn't start coming back up, even though it's coming up back up slowly, it's still a good working shock. If it just stays in place, it's done deal. You definitely need to replace your shocks. And another thing, like I mentioned before, if you guys see any leaking, oil spilling out of the shock tower, that means it's probably time to go. There's a leak somewhere, and then the cylinder inside is not holding the adequate amount of pressure. So I'm definitely not going to be reusing this extra bump stop that was found over here. We can throw that out right now. This factory one is more than plenty enough. Now at this point, the hardest thing to do if you're by yourself is to get everything aligned properly, and you're going to have to squeeze pretty hard to get that stud out of this top hat. So usually I'm going to wait for somebody to come help me with this. As I press down the spring in the top hat, the stud comes out and you can lock the nut out. This is the hard part when you don't have spring compressors, but I still find it easy if you have a second hand to help you out. Alright guys, I was gonna wait for someone to help me compress the spring so I can tighten the nut on top, but you know what, I don't got time for this. I'm losing daylight. I still want to make another video installing these little things on the vehicle. Since my nut broke on the other bolt, we're just gonna install these camber arms and we're gonna max these out. So stay tuned for that video. That one's gonna come next, but I gotta get this shock in the vehicle. Then I'm gonna bump it up through here. I'm gonna put a jack under my brakes, and then we'll be able to tighten the stud as it's gonna pressurizing the shock is gonna make it come out from here, and we'll just tighten that nut once it's in the shock tower right through here. So let's get it. Alright, we jacked up the assembly right here. We were able to get the stud out through there, and then we just put the lock nut on it. And now we're just going to take everything out of the car again, make sure everything is aligned properly on the shock spring combo, because this does kind of throw it off on alignment a little bit. But if you don't have a second pair of hands, if you don't have spring compressors, this is one way you do it. You just jack up this whole assembly until the shock stud comes out from there. We have it, guys, fully assembled, fully greased. Everything is properly aligned where it should be. The bottom spring, the top spring right over here. So I'm glad I was able to do this by myself without waiting. That way we can install this and keep on going with our day. This is, like I said, probably one of the best ways to do it if you got no options. Make sure this bolt is not too loose or too tight, because then you're gonna have problems. If it's too loose, you're gonna hear clunking. If it's too tight, you're gonna feel it when you're turning, that resistance when moving left to right. Because remember, this whole thing right here has to move. The bearings that are on there, let me move it for you guys. See, these bearings right here, they have to move. So if it's too tight, it's gonna cause too much compression on the bearings and you'll have issues. I mean, even this to my liking is a little bit too tight, but everything is torqued appropriately, so it is what it is. So let's get this back on the car and call it a day. Hopefully this video helped you guys get a little bit more information how everything works, how the suspension system is created, what you need to re-grease if you're doing any kind of maintenance on the suspension. If you're having any kind of clunking noise, definitely make sure the bolts are tight, make sure everything is greased up appropriately. Some people re-grease their suspension every year, so especially if you live in the Midwest where it's snowing, raining, and salt, it does corrode a lot of the components that are on top of each other. So good idea to double check everything. And this is not the only thing you want to double check. You want to make sure everything else is nice and tight, such as your sway bar end links, such as your ball joints right over here are tight. You want to make sure your tie rod ends are good and not squeaking and there's not a lot of play in them. And obviously you want to make sure your axle boot is good, there's no play. Last thing is, when you get your wheel on, you can vibrate it left and right. Make sure there's no play in the hub bearing as well. There's a lot of components. The lower control arm can be an issue as well. You can see mine is slowly starting to wear out over here, but keep an eye on your suspension. That way everything is nice and smooth, and even though you might have 100,000 miles on your vehicle, it's gonna ride as smooth as the day you got it. So thank you guys for watching. Smash that like button if you enjoyed anything, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice